Damon Wilcox. So at this point, I think you're well over 50 or so campaigns you've done with us. Damon's one of our best creative strategists, content managers, creator managers, however you want to call it. Really an engineer when it comes to virality. Damon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're in the hundreds of millions of views on these campaigns alone, and hundreds of creators trained, managed across different consumer apps, many of them that hit number one in the App Store several times. So there's a bit of a track record on the consumer app side alone with UGC, and then for yourself, you have a pretty good brand for yourself, hundreds of thousands of followers across socials. It's a pleasure to bring you on here. We work very closely, but yeah, I'm very happy to have you, bro.
Thank you, man. I mean, you are the legend in the space. Like, scale the agency to hundreds of clients at this point. Like, you're the
I
best
mean,
at it, bro.
like, we couldn't have done it without you. So, Damon, talk to me. Let's level set for listeners. Talk to me a little bit about the journey. So, how do you start with content? What was the what were you trying to do, and then how did you get into UGC as like a service, if you want to say it? And then I'll have some follow up questions.
Yeah, I mean, it was, man, when was it? I think I started around 2021. So I'd say TikTok popped in around 2019, 2020 is when it really gained traction. And I was following a few creators kind of closer and seeing that they were making like a business out of it, kind of seeing they had a more of a fun lifestyle. And I was like, well, I can talk. These guys are literally talking to a camera. I can do it. So I started content in about 20, yeah, 21, 22. From there, yeah, mostly just personal brand stuff, a lot of talking to camera, giving people advice on whatever problems they might have is kind of where I started. Scaled up to like 150,000 across platforms. But throughout the posting, I was really concerned and just like mesmerized with like the psychology of it and getting people to act and getting people to keep listening till the end of the video because it's all about watch time. So that was like something that just really intrigued me about posting. But then from there, tried to start like little consulting businesses and whatever from it. Nothing really gained traction. And in late 2022, early 2023, I seen UGC. It was pretty early to the space. Brands were just slowly starting to lose trust in like influencers being able to convert for them. So I seen the opportunity. I got on a few different brand deals before meeting you, and some of them were horrible. Bro, I remember I had this deal. I had a like full contract, everything. I had to get them 30 videos for like these horrible t-shirts, and they wanted me to be like outdoors, like hiking in them and stuff like that. Bro, it was a horrible deal, and I got like no money. I got 30 t-shirts, and they were horrible t-shirts, so I had a box of just these like just horrible clothing brand, bro. So I had
How do
to,
you even wear 30 t-shirts?
I don't know, bro. Like, it was a video t-shirt, but I don't even know. I don't even think they used all the content from that. But yeah, eventually we met over Twitter, 2023, I want to say. And then from there, it was, yeah, actually scaling up, become creator manager. We've had a just bunch of campaigns rip since then, and it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. You said something interesting. You said it was just about the time where I think we met in 2023, I believe. And you said in the beginning it was just about the time where brands were losing trust with influencers, which I fully agree. But what do you think happened that drove that kind of movement?
I mean, I think it really comes down to the consumer. Like, if people were becoming more aware of like, hey, these influencers just are just getting paid. They don't believe in these brands. And you kind of build up as people like a way to tune out ads. It's like you're watching TV, a commercial comes on, you don't really pay attention, you tune it out fully. That's kind of what influencer brand deals became. You'd see an Instagram story, you'd see their post on YouTube, whatever. You'd skip past the whole ad part. Like it didn't matter to the consumer anymore. So brands eventually picked up on this. I feel like that had been going on for a long time before this, but brands eventually picked it up and realized that they're putting all this money into these influencers and getting no conversions back from it. So they had to find a better way. TikTok was just popping off, and the value in it was the fact that you can be a completely normal person, and you can relate to their target user. So people trust people that they relate like alike with, right? So that was the value in UGC. It wasn't some like influencer who they don't relate to at all, just selling them this thing and just making a bunch of money from it.
I think one of the questions a lot of people will have listening to this is, okay, but why does it make more sense to pay a content creator or someone with really barely any experience in content to go and post videos with barely any followers about, an app or a product, rather than going to an influencer with a lot of followers they've already built? Like, why would that make sense? I guess that would be a question a lot of people watching would have if they're not familiar with this. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, my thought is there's really two sides of it. One, influencers at this point in time are crazy overpriced. So if you're trying to scale and maybe you're on a lower budget, or even if you have a higher budget, you at the end of the day don't want to burn ad dollars. So you're taking a big risk by giving influencers a bunch of money. So the smaller guy, they're more affordable for brands and they can move the needle way further if a video does well. And that's the great thing with TikTok right now is TikTok is it's value based. If you can provide the most value, you're going to be on the For You page. It's not about how many followers you have. I mean, how many videos do you watch every day and then you're concerned with how many followers this person has? Like, you don't care. This is a good video, so it gets views and you like it. And you move on to the next one that's performing. So it's not really about the followers anymore. It's not happening in 2026. It doesn't matter. My second thing is kind of what I said before is who are you going to trust more? Like if your friend comes up to you and says, hey, I use this product. I love it. You should get it. You're way more likely to get that than if your favorite celebrity says to buy this product, right? So this is kind of a way of doing that, where if you're a college student, you see another college student who made a video, they're in the dorm room, they're talking about how they use this app or whatever it may be, you're way more likely to trust them and listen to their guidance and their influence on you than some random like celebrity who you do not relate to at all on their lifestyle. So I think those are the two big things about UGC right now.
You said something about TikTok being value based. Can you expand on that? What do you what does that mean? And why was that so important for this whole movement to be created?
Yeah, I mean, we could get down to like the very nitty gritty of it. Like TikTok is solely watch time based. So if your video has people watching it all the way through, then it gets pushed to the next bucket. So people talk about like 300 view jail. That's bucket number one. And if people aren't reaching a certain amount of watch time, that first cohort of people, it's not going to get moved to the 1,000 group of people. And then it'll get pushed to 10,000 people and 50,000 people and so on and so forth. So every cohort on TikTok needs to perform on watch time. So like the viewers enjoying it, liking it, engaging, watching the full thing to get moved to the next one. So a viral video is viral because everybody agrees that they like the video, they watch the video, they watch the they engage with the video. So if your brand is going viral, it's because everybody agrees this was a good piece of content and they are interested in it. With an influencer, they may just have a consistent 50K view coming in because they have the following and Instagram likes to push it, but that doesn't mean people are actually watching it. It may just be showing up on their feed because they follow them and they may watch the first 3 seconds and scroll. Like if you have 2 million followers, you're averaging 50K viewers, those may be like fake views of just people having it pop up and moving on.
And do you think other platforms since then, because I remember when TikTok's, when normal people back in 19 started building huge brands on TikTok, like TikTok just had an inflow of users, it was insane. So TikTok grew very, very fast because, in my opinion, I agree with you, it was value based. So anyone, regardless of their following, regardless if they had experience or not, or an existing brand, could just come in, do a piece of content that resonates with a lot of people and go viral from zero. And that was appealing to a lot of people who wanted to be creators. Do you think since then other platforms are trying to replicate the same thing and that's the direction we're going on all socials?
For sure. I think just looking back myself and like what I've liked to consume through the years, when I was younger, I loved like YouTube. I'd follow up with specific YouTubers consistently. And now, not that I really watch much YouTube anymore, but if I go to YouTube, the people I'm subscribed to aren't even the ones getting pushed on my YouTube page. I don't even look at my subscribed like tab on YouTube anymore. It's everything is the apps are pushing what you want to see. So everybody talks about how like they track your dopamine, whatever, and they hit your dopamine receptors. It's literally just because they're giving you what you want to see. Like you want to watch these videos, so they're providing them to you. So everything right now is just value based. Like you want to see what the platforms are showing you. Your mic's muted, Alex.
There's got to be a good part. Do you think, like we see huge brands, almost everyone's now trying to do this kind of organic socials strategy where, they hire kind of micro creators or, smaller creators and give them direction on what to create. That piece of content or that direction is what makes them, get an unreasonable, unfair amount of eyeballs. Yeah, I'm guessing from your opinion, there's a lot of people who also say like UGC is now saturated and this, somehow there's a new strategy on the block or whatever it is. What do you think? Do you think we're still early? Do you think there's still value to squeeze out of this whole UGC micro creator type of strategy?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I truly think we're very early on it. Like, yes, you could say some formats have gotten oversaturated because everybody does them, but they only do them because it's so early and they don't know how to develop their own strategies. Once you're able to develop a strategy, like an ongoing development that works for your brand, like TikTok isn't going anywhere. Videos aren't going anywhere. There's always going to be something trending. There's always going to be something unique. And if you can find a way to cater that to your brand or come up with a new trend, then you can be ahead of the curve. Right now, the only reason people are saying it's like oversaturated is because they're way behind. They just copy what everybody else does. You need to be the one taking the action and coming up with the strategies for your brand.
Yeah. And as more people learn how to make content and as more creators come into the platform and as more brands kind of pay these smaller creators to make content about their brand, their app, and their product, what do you think is happening? Does that mean that now it's going to be harder to go viral? Does that mean, like, where's the value? Where should people focus on? Is it on the strategy? Is it on the creator, on the video? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think that there's, I mean, yeah, more people are doing it, but more people are doing meta ads. Those aren't going anywhere, right? Like at the end of the day, it's all marketing, and you want to market where the eyeballs are, and the eyeballs are on short form right now. As for what matters most, I think it is like strategy and what type of video does my ideal user want to watch? What type of videos are they already watching? And how can we place a very organic product placement in that type of video for that user?
I agree. Yeah, and I think also, I think with AI and more creators doing it, that really just means that there's more adoption and that the strategy is being more used. But I mean, influencer marketing has been used for almost more than a decade. Um, Meta ads in general have been around for ages. So it's like it was really just a new way of approaching socials because of the new algos, because of the new updates that TikTok brought. That kind of unlocked this. I also don't think it's going anywhere, and I think we're like super early. But definitely market is growing at an astonishing rate for sure. Yeah, Damon, I want to ask you. You're a creator yourself. You've managed hundreds of them for top consumer apps, for apps that went on to hit number one because of, in large, the short form content we put out. What do you think makes a good creator?
First thing that came to mind was they have to be willing to put in the effort. The game is constantly changing, and if you are like, I can understand why brands would be a little bit behind the curve on what's doing well for social. They have other priorities that they need to look at. But if you're a creator who's a little bit more lazy and you're just kind of doing what everyone else is doing, that's not going to help you stand out. We had a crazy win on one project. And it was just because we came up with a brand new original format that nobody else had done in this niche. It put them number one of the App Store. And it's because the person who created it wanted one, they had fun with it, but they weren't afraid to try something new and adapt to new angles. I think a lot of problems that creators have is they just get stuck in the same loop, assuming that it's going to work. Maybe it worked for them a year ago, but you need to be willing to switch up your content style. You need to always be comfortable on camera. And as corny as it may sound, you need to be somewhat of a doom scroller yourself. Like you need to see what's happening, what's trending. People like to say that TikTok is a platform of inside jokes and that every month there's like 5 new inside jokes. So you need to be on top of those to be able to adapt that to your content as a creator.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like the For You page for each person is like this little community that feeds them exactly what they're looking for. So yeah, if you definitely like if you come from the perspective of being on the inside, it's much easier. But like when apps or founders who are listening are looking for creators and are struggling with, a lot of them struggle with like vetting them and finding the right fit and kind of making sure that they have the right creators. What do you think should be the process? As in, where should founders be looking for creators in the first place? And what should they look for when vetting them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's great platforms to find creators like SideShift and places like that. So I would start there if you are looking to find creators. For vetting them, I would honestly just say one, are they being responsive when you're actually talking to them? Are they willing to learn? There is no shortage of creators who are literally just here to get the money and go away, and like they don't care about the video performs. So one, are they trying to do this full time? Have they gone viral before? Those are like the main things. Is yeah, I guess to summarize is, have they been in the space for a while? Is this something they really care about? And have they gone viral in the space? I think those two things can shake out a bunch of the bad creators when you're looking at who to take on.
Yeah, yeah. And how easy do you think it is to become a good creator, to go viral for the first time? Because let's say we talked to a lot of founders, and that are struggling with finding these creators. Maybe they have some people who are responsive and are professional and want to do the best work possible. How easy is it to get those kind of newer people to the space to get to a place where they're going viral consistently, or they have a first viral hit?
Yeah. I mean, assuming it's a creator who is like really eager to learn and to perform. I remember we had one, it might have been a year or two ago at this point, but we had a creator who was super in it, like really wanted to learn, really wanted to go viral. And just by like coaching him, he was constantly asking questions. We ended up getting him to like 20 million views. Like it was insane. And he was brand new. And he was like riding this high and he wanted to keep killing it. So I think if that creator is like really in it and really invested, they're going to be coming to you with questions. And you, I guess, like as a founder or whoever you may be on the team, need to make sure that you're really there giving them that same energy back and giving them all the insight that you have to help this project go viral.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also, with that being said, I think, and we've talked about this extensively, like because of that, then the most important thing becomes number one, you need to get people who are responsive and want to make the thing work. And number two, you need to have people who are giving them advice who know what they're talking about. And that's really it. Because if you have those two, I mean, it's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree.
so
No, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that uh, the people that you have training, the creators, are also very important. Like if I were to take a creator who's gone viral maybe one time, they got lucky, they've tried a bunch of times again, never went viral again, and I have them training like a group of a bunch of new people, it's probably not going to go that well. But if you have someone who's gone viral multiple times, like clearly understands TikTok and understands virality, that's someone who's going to be way more likely to be able to help these other creators grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost like you take their level of skill and you're able to leverage that a lot more by having them give advice to the kind of other people. Um, so I agree. And I think, yeah, also having a bit of a sense of community within your creator team is super underrated. Like just making them engage with each other, making them do things together, and like it's insane how much more bought in they get with the project. And many times not really about compensation or whatever. It's really just how well they feel working with the brand. It's like feeling a sense of community with other people.
Yeah, I agree. I think also it's quicker to learn from each other. Some people may have insights that the others are lacking, and then that makes you as a creator able to learn much more effectively and also be able to go viral much quicker because everyone knows things in the space that you may not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a snowball. We see it across projects because we do different ones, but I'm guessing also for a company that's trying to set this up in house as like a proper creative program or trying to, you know, make UGC work. Like probably the most important thing is, yeah, getting your creators to engage with each other and kind of having them feel like they're part of something. That'll go so much further than just increasing their their retainer, their bonuses. Like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think, yeah, if the creator hasn't been doing good in the beginning, increasing their retainer is not going to change performance. It
yeah,
actually might like negatively affect it. They may have got what they wanted and are going to continue having low effort. So I think making sure that they're emotionally involved, that they're excited on the project, that they also like you as like a founder or like your team, because then they'll want to do better for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of creators are getting just tons of brand deals, even small brand deals with the whole UGC thing now being becoming something that everyone's trying to do. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to stand out in a way where they're working from home. Maybe this is something on the side. If they have too many projects, they'll ultimately choose the ones they like the most and they feel the most connected to. So yeah, I agree fully with you. I want to go. I want to ask you, Damon, about virality. I mean, for again, people who don't know you, uh, Damon has been behind multiple projects who either went on to do hundreds of thousands of downloads a month from almost zero, or number one in the App Store multiple times. Damon, what do you think? And everyone's different here. I'm keen to hear you out. What do you think makes a viral video? Like, how do you come up with something viral? Is it copying what works? Is it having a new idea? Is the mix? How do you go about it? Do you have a process?
Yeah, there's a few things. At this point, it's really become just like natural. So I just kind of jump around between spaces and know where to look to. So it's not like I have like an ABC for myself. Before creating a viral campaign, I'd say one, you have to truly know who you're talking to. So you have to know what their pain points are, what the struggles are, what makes them excited. Get an idea of what their For You page looks like. When we have creators warm up accounts, we get them to engage with like the same type of content that the target audience would be, so they can get an understanding of like what trends are going on in their little community. And then for formats and stuff like that, you have to be a little bit ahead of the curve. Things are always going to be popping up and growing on TikTok. You don't want to be the person who's seen it all get posted on Twitter a bunch, not recognize that this was trending a month ago, and now you're trying to chase that high. You have to be willing, you have to be able to recognize, like, hey, this is slowly starting to pop up. I'd give trends on TikTok maybe 2 weeks. So you got to get in within that first week, and then you got to jump on it and really find a way to tie the product in an organic way. And it's that product tie-in. Alex, we've talked about this before. If the video doesn't make sense without the product, it's not going to convert. So you need to find a way to apply that to whatever your product is. That way the videos are actually going to convert, because you can go viral. Like, going viral is easy, but converting when you go viral, that's the big shift. And that's what's going to make the difference, obviously, for anybody as a founder, is actually making their content drive downloads and paid conversions.
I agree. And I think a big element of that is also making sure that your product or whatever you're plugging into the story is something that adds to the virality of the video, not that takes away from the virality of the video, right? So like, what are those products? Have you seen like a pattern, Damon, where it's like, products that have XYZ do better than others? Like, what do you think a viral product looks like?
Yeah, it comes down a lot to the visuals of the product. Like, what are you actually showing off? A quick example that comes to mind, just because it like flooded everywhere. I've seen a lot on Twitter and on my own For You page, was there are these like relationship apps out there, and for a long time they've had like widgets where you can draw onto your partner's screen. But one app, I don't remember who they were, but they made it like as if you were drawing on a home screen, which it was just part of the app, but you weren't actually drawing on each other's home screen. But that visual compared to the just simple widget visual, it blew up. I mean, apps were just copying just that one feature and getting millions and millions of views. So I think it really comes down to the visual. Maybe you have something that is slightly working, but is there a way to tweak it and make it a little bit better that'll drive that virality? And also, like, check out what competitors are doing in your space as well. Like, you may be in a specific niche of app and you know that your competitors are doing well on organic. What visuals are they showing that you don't have, and how can you apply that to your app?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the TikTok audience, I agree with you. For the TikTok audience, I think a lot of it's like, how much can you simplify what you're showing so that it becomes obvious to whoever the viewer is? Like, visually, with no text, without an explanation, just making sense. Like, people know what they're looking at. Like, you see Kelly, I think they just got acquired. The app is just, man, like, you take a picture of food, and it scans it and then gives you the calories. Like, that's probably 5 seconds of a demo. And it's like mega obvious. So all the rest is creating the story that's going to lead to that. And that's viral because you don't need to explain what it is and you have that chance to lose the viewer. But yeah, I think a lot of what virality is simplicity. If you boil it down, it's like simplicity with the inside jokes of TikTok and then with the product side.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think a lot of it on the product side is, yeah, it has to be self-explanatory. Um, a lot of viral videos will actually be able to convert across no like um, any language. There's a video right now, like was posted about a week ago. It's got like 400 million views. It had no text, but it was just something that's relatable that anybody in any language can understand. And I'm sure Cal AI also benefited from that because you don't need to know English or whatever language to be able to see that you're taking a picture of food and then you get a number of
Yeah.
the calorie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So it's like, I think a lot of founders or a lot of teams really like, um, yeah, they have a great product or a great concept, but then the way it's visually shown is just a little too complicated for what you'd want in a short form video. It's like what you need for that is just the main feature visually being shown. Like I remember we did Turbo Learn when we were working with them, and they had this whole thing about when you were generating notes, it showed a loading bar saying generating notes. It didn't need that. Like literally, the product did not need that. But it's much easier to explain that this thing is generating notes from the audio, with the audio kind of showing that it's recording and then saying generating notes, than it is to show the whole note generated and say, "Oh my God, I just recorded XYZ." It doesn't matter. It's like the thing is showing that it's recording and it says generating notes with a loading bar. Mega simple. So it's like these little tweaks that might not be important for the product team or the person that's developing the thing, but for a viewer, it makes all difference.
No, it
Yeah.
does.
Damon, one thing you said in the beginning that I just remembered about influencers, their videos might get like consistent number of views, like consistently like 50K views because they have an audience. How much do you think? Obviously, it's hard to get an influencer that's going to convert for your product. And that's part of the big issue with brands now wanting to pivot away from it, right? How much do you think those audiences are more built on like the personality of the creator and entertainment rather than actual trust?
Yeah, like fully. A lot of these creators too who do like have these big followers and stuff like that, at one point or another go through like some scandal, half the audience hates them, whatever it is. So, like the trust doesn't really matter. The people keep going back because they're being entertained. I like to think of TikTok as like three big things. It's entertainment, education, and inspiration. Those are the main three things when it comes down to TikTok. And you'll see like depending on your For You page, you may see a little bit more of one or the other. Overall, at the end of the day, the biggest one out of those three is entertainment. It's an entertainment app at the end of the day. People are going on there to turn their brains off. So your content also has to be entertaining. And those influencers, their whole audience is built off the fact that they're able to entertain people in a slightly relatable way.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of the problems. Like there's a few of them that are actually like, have trust with their audience because they're in a, I don't know, they're like a specific position, their niche, like, they're an authority figure in their niche or whatever it may be. But that's the problem is someone who's trying to hire them, they don't know why that audience is built. So it's very hard to make distinction and then to kind of bet thousands of dollars in one video to find out. It's like, that's complete, like, I just can't understand. Whereas like, you have this algorithm right now where anyone that would post a good video would get the same amount of reach, and you could pay one like $50 and the other one 5,000, and it's going to result in the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me why you'd keep pouring money down these influencers unless it's actually a channel that's over the long term driving installs, revenue, whatever it is. But that's more of a partner than it is like influencer marketing, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think right now, and I know a lot of brands would agree, the influencer route at this point is way too risky. You really do not know what you're going to see in return. And also, you get way less content. You're paying for one video. Like the TikTok algorithm, the best video goes viral. So imagine if you were to take that creator, pay them a bunch, they don't make the best video, doesn't go viral. But if you're paying multiple creators to create a bunch of content, who says you don't get, 5, 10, 15, 50 wins from that one campaign, right? All
Yeah.
for the same price as one video going out.
Yeah. And then with influencers, you have the whole thing about being able to use those videos as ads is like, it's a whole ordeal to, you know, get that, you know, the influencer whitelisting. And with like creators, typically it's a bit simpler. So it's like you get a lot of validation very fast, especially if, like, you know, yeah, whatever, you're scaling with paid ads or whatever it is. It's like, I think that's where the volume is super valuable. And that actually leads me to one question I had for you is like, what difference do you think volume makes with UGC? Like, so you have volume, you have creative strategy, direction. How much do you think volume plays a part in having success with the strategy?
I mean, yeah, I would put it this way. For my own personal brand, to even hit like 100,000 view video, it took me 2 months of like consistently looking at analytics. Why did this work? Why did this hook not work? Growing your brand and your type of video that works is going to be the exact same thing. You're trying to, at the end of the day, find your audience in TikTok. You're trying to find them, see what resonates with them. You're trying to figure out how to, like, what in this video is going to make this work. So I think it all takes time, and it is a volume game. TikTok is the best video wins. So you need to take time to craft that video, look back at the other ones, see why they did or didn't perform, and keep testing new strategies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And the cool thing is, if you have if you have a lot of creators, like 5, 10, 15, 100, doesn't matter. But you, like what we were talking about, the sense of community, and they're talking to each other and learning from each other. You just need one of them to crack one angle, and then everyone else can pivot to that. So it's like, it might take a while, but as soon as it happens, it's insane, because like you have a lot more leverage to just double down on that one thing. What do you think about that, Damon? Like, do you think these campaigns, for someone who's watching, who's trying to make this happen, trying to work this out for themselves, do you think it's a matter of just finding that one angle and then everyone does it and then you need to find the next one? Like, how do you see that in
Yeah,
terms of
no,
scaling?
yeah, I think for scaling, like I would say you'd be pretty lucky to find an angle that'll last you a year, but I don't think it's crazy to take a month, find an angle that'll last you another 1 to 2 months. Like I think there is good good ROI on the strategy retention. Like you can take a month, have your 10 creators, test out a bunch of different formats, find one winning one, and then have all of them jump on it for another month or two.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, yeah, this is one thing I saw early on, a lot of like the education material I saw from brands that were doing this very successfully. I think Tabs from Oliver, Tabs Chocolate was one of the first ones. But like the main thing was, yeah, it's not only about going viral, it's about going viral with an angle about the product, and with an angle that has good lifetime, a good, you know, lifespan. Meaning, like, if you're following a trend, you go viral, and it's also about the product, that's good, but like, the trend's gonna die in about a week, right? But then if you go viral with something that's like, you know, a funny angle, something that people really liked, and you manage to plug in the product and it converts, that has a much longer kind of lifetime. So that's where a lot of the value is as well. Because I know, like, jumping on trends, what most people try to do. Like, I think a lot of people who don't really know how socials work because their skill set is different. They think it's like, you know, TikTok, like a bunch of kids, you know, dancing on camera. Whereas like there's so many different things to it. I mean, yeah, just a quick thought there about that. How do you see that, like, trends versus creating your kind of fresh angles or different formats, and kind of how long they last?
Yeah, I mean, trends, yeah, I would say trend typically last around 2 weeks. Some of them are like much more defined, like they become like definitive part of TikTok for like 3 months, and that trend you can just keep riding. I'd say like specific video format trends though don't last as long. The ones that last longer are usually like themes. Like the theme of talking about some specific thing tends to last longer than a specific video style.
Yeah.
For trends, I have always thought this, like the biggest win that you can get for running organic is to have people who are not your creator, people who you've never even talked to, posting
Yeah.
your video. If you can pull that one off, that's next level for marketing because then it's free. Your users are now promoting it.
I see it all the time in like LinkedIn pages and X pages. People are like reposting videos of ours, and I'm like, bro, like, what is this, man? Like, pitching like a random app with one of our creators on LinkedIn. I'm like, bro, what's happening? That's super funny. And I think, yeah, if you like, a lot of it happens where you like you manage to tap into this community in that corner of the internet on TikTok, and you get all of them to start talking about you and or
Yeah.
about your thing, right? About that app or about the thing you did. That's the biggest one for sure. Because then it's like all of this is free, and we just built the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can pull that off in a campaign, that's next level.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Damon, it's been great to have you, man. We have to do a part two of this.
Of
Um,
course.
Before we go, for someone who's listening, there's a lot of different people listen to us and that come to us. There's bigger companies, growth teams, there's funded founders, there's app studios. Ultimately, all of them are trying to kind of make sense of this thing and make this thing work. What would you say to someone who's looking to start something like this, whether it's with us in house or a different agency, it doesn't matter. What would you say are the most important things for them to look out for?
Yeah, I mean, in this space, I would say find people who know what they're doing. So whether that's an agency or just an in-house creator teaching your other creators, find people who know what they're doing because I'm sure you as a founder have higher priorities right now. And it may not even understand the space because you have different skill set. So find somebody who has this skill set. Secondly, I would say as you start to scale up with creators, Alex said it a bunch, the community matters a lot. Like they're going to learn from each other. A big thing too is, yeah, they're probably working on other campaigns, but if they like you, if they like this team, that's going to be their number one priority. So build those relationships with those creators. And then the third thing is keep at it. Like the amount of campaigns where we've been going, it's been whatever, 3 weeks in, people are wondering what's going on. And then week four, it just booms. And for some people running campaigns, maybe that's, it takes that like week four. Some of them it's month four, whatever it may be for if you're running in-house, right? Like it may take a little bit longer, but take that time, but make sure as the time's going, you're reviewing why did this not work? What was I missing here? Did we plug it the right way? Did we convert when we went viral? Ask the right questions. I would say if you can do those three things, you're going to be way more successful than if you're just randomly posting content and hoping.
Damon, you're a legend. I'm very much a fan of your work. I respect a lot of your work here as well. It was a pleasure to have you. I hope we do a part two soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you for having me on.